is. It's the definition, it's the Aristotelian definition of happiness. The true happiness is the full use of your powers along the lines of excellence in a life void of scope. So we're going to hear more of the same themes in true life stories. In this case, we're going to have our next trailblazer, who's applied her exceptional human resource management skills, serving as the general manager, countryside to Saitel, Philippines, and as such, the company has thrived through its people-first culture, paving the way to the creation of more than 8,000 jobs in key provinces of the Philippines. Similar to the story that Fernando's talking about, the $25 billion. This is key part and parcel of the $25 billion success story of the shared services industry in the Philippines. Our mantra is actually an acronym, DARE, which stands for Dream, Act, Renew, Enjoy. Simple but powerful. Thank you very much. Heidi Enriquez. We look forward to hearing from you.
Last Monday, I was in an airport lounge waiting for yet another trip to the countryside region. And as I was flipping through a magazine, Mabuhay magazine, I came upon an advert that says, to blaze new trails, one has to break new grounds. And that got me thinking about the many, many roads, the grounds that I had traveled along the way, the walls that I climbed, and the ceiling that I had to break to earn possibly the right to be up here on this stage, being called a trailblazer. It all started, really, not so long ago. I'm not a baby boomer. That's why I'm not a captain. I'm a trailblazer. Okay? In a remote barrio in Palawan called Purok na Tahimik, Barangay San Pedro, Puerto Princesa City. It was one of those weekends, very exciting time, the weekends for me and my sibling. Typically, would get ready at around 6 o'clock in the evening and go to our neighbor to watch television from their open window. Because you see, in the Purok where I grew up, there was only one household with television. And as I was watching, I remember this very vividly. There was an image flashing on the screen of a very well-dressed woman as she was about to step out of a very nice, sleek car. She was bringing a suitcase as she was confidently going up a flight of stairs, entering an entrance to a very nice skyscraper. Later that night, I told my mom, I already knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. And my mom said, what? I told her, I want to be just like that woman. I didn't know what she does. I didn't know who she was, but I wanted to be exactly just like her. That night, in Purok Matahimik, I dared to dream. You see, in the barrio where I was born and raised, it really wasn't easy to imagine a parallel universe of comfort and bounty. It was even more difficult to believe that a person would go out of that purok seeking for a much better life. I kid you not. At that time, all my 118, I repeat, 118 first cousins all lived in the same purok. I did tell you that there was just one television, right? because of that vision, it helped me believe that it was possible to imagine a different life. It took a lot of hard work. In my case, it took walking 3 kilometers at least, going to school, to the nearest elementary school, and that's just the beginning of it because I had to go back home. Another 3 kilometers going back, the entire elementary years of my life. It took pounding the very dusty streets of our barrio, selling ice drop. To those of you who were born and raised in the province, those ice drops that you carry on wooden crates. And during summer, it took waking up very early in the morning to pick up cashew nuts. And all of this I did so I could help my mom and my dad save enough money for new pairs of slippers and new notebooks come school time. My first real job was as a food server in Shakey's New Frontier. If you don't know where it is, then that means you're a millennial. If you know where Shakey's New Frontier was, then you're the generation of Dr. Villegas. So I was still finishing some units then, and so I had a lot of time on my hand, but I was a part-time employee. And so what I did every day upon logging out was I volunteered to our back office staff. Whoever wanted help, I was there. And guess what? In 3 months, I mastered all of the 9 basic positions in Shakey's, including all of those, or those that were initially reserved for men, such as fryerman and ovenman. In 1 year, I got promoted 3 times. And then I recall, in 2009, I was being interviewed by the person who would become my first boss inside Dell. His name was Steve Barker. He looked at my resume and said, Heidi, I'm sure not a lot of people who graduated from mababang paaralan ng San Pedro ended up going to Harvard Business School. He said, what drives you? And I told him, fear of poverty. You see, in 2001, after a lingering illness, my father died. Okay? He died pretty much with us not having any money, to such an extent that 3 days after he was supposed to be interned, we didn't have 10,000 pesos. That's not dollars, 10,000 pesos to pay for down payment of that very lot where he was to be buried. It was then that I made a vow to myself that no matter how long it took, no matter how much it took, I would break the cycle of poverty. Through what? I didn't have any ideals of marrying rich. My parents, I certainly did not have the looks of a model of a Miss Universe. So I said to myself, I would have to do it the way my parents taught me how, through sheer hard work. I dared to act to my dreams a reality. I sure do hope I could tell you here that I had every single plan well laid out as I was going through life. But really, I didn't. My plan then was just to do my best where I was with whatever little resources I had. I took up nutrition in college, but ended up not using any of it. If I use some of the knowledge that I gained from there on my own diet, I tell you, I would be 40 pounds thinner now. But I ended up building a career in human resource management. How did that happen? Well, I forced people to be my mentors. I paid for my own schooling. When I was accepted to work in the contact center industry in 2003, I did not even know the difference between inbound and outbound. I remember the very first meeting, management meeting that I attended. They were having such a passionate discussion about this person called Nice who kept on not working, giving everyone grief. And I was thinking to myself, who the hell is Nice? Why are we not firing her? Until such time that I found out that Nice was actually a recording system. I dared to reinvent myself over and over and over again. In 2014, I got an opportunity to work as a global lead after 4 years as a regional leader taking care of 5 countries for Cytel. I had an opportunity to lead the global talent acquisition team. It was a dream come true for me. It was fun, it was glamorous. I had 600 members of my team spread across 25 countries. But for whatever reason, I ended up feeling disconnected and isolated. In 2016, another opportunity came. My boss asked me if I wanted to go back to my hometown and build Cytel's first expansion site to a greenfield location. I, of course, took on the job, not because I wanted to go back to the barrio, but because it made business sense. I was the only one amongst the leadership team of Cytel who knew that market very well. So really, it was all business as usual for me until one chance encounter in Robinson's supermarket, Puerto Princesa. I was doing my grocery shopping when a mother, or she looked like a mother, came to me, held both my hands, and said, "Ma'am Heidi, thank you very much." And then I said, sino po sila? And then she said, "I am the mother of Mark. Mark is one of your employees in Cytel." She said, we did not have money to send him to college. So he finished only high school. He tried to land jobs, but really could not find a company locally that would give him the opportunity. She said, until you came, until Cytel Academy came. Cytel Academy, by the way, was that program that I re-engineered in 2009 when I was head of talent acquisition of the region, that provides near hire or opportunity free training for near hires, those that are almost there but not quite, bridging the gap between the mismatch of what is produced by the academe and the needs, the ever-growing needs of our industry. So that chance encounter happened 2 years ago. At this point in time, Scitel Academy, Scitel Puerto Princesa, with me at the helm, have provided jobs to 1,200 of my kababayans in Palawan, with 800 more to be created by end of this year. Apart from that, we are envisioning a growth, job creation of 10,000 more in the next 1.5 years. Only 1.5 years. All in greenfield markets. All in the countryside. So, you see, I did my best to leave the barrio where I came from, only to realize later on in life that it is in the barrio where I will find true enjoyment and meaning. I left the countryside so that I could escape the shackles of poverty, and then I dared come back. I have come back so that others may do the same. So dream, act, renew, enjoy, and find meaning. So whenever I get asked, how did you end up becoming a trailblazer? I just tell them, it's simple. I dare. Thank you very much.
Heidi, thank you so much for sharing that powerful story, the journey that's come full circle, and there's nothing really like the power, the unbridled power of example. Thank you very much. Now, moving on to our next trail.